Hey there everyone, long time no see. Before I begin, I just wanted to let everyone to know that I have an Airsoft game day coming up on October 15th here at Wild West Acres. If you bring your spookiest costume or a patch or literally anything Halloween gear, you're going to get half off your admission for a $10 admission price instead of the full $20 admission price. Anyways, let's jump right into the video and talk about my p-90. So for a little bit of context, I'm a sci-fi lover. I love games like Titanfall 2, I love Cyberpunk, I like the Cyberpunk games. I don't like the world of Cyberpunk, I don't want to live in a Cyberpunk world, but I really like a lot of the aesthetics. So when I saw the p-90, and I have always loved the p-90, I said, what could I do with that while still maintaining a cool vibe? And I wanted to meet right in the middle between aesthetics and functionality. And this is the result of that project. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you butt to tip, as I think the grand thumb tends to say, and I'm going to show you guys everything that I've done on this Airsoft p-90, and I'll go a little bit into my thought process behind it. Running on the back, I have the Angel Customs stock extension plate. What I was finding with the p-90 oftentimes was that as I was shouldering it, I found it was just a little too tight. I found my wrist getting a little cramped up for long extended play sessions, and that's something I can kind of deal with. But I figure, why push myself more than I have to, and why not make myself as comfortable as I can when playing? What it also comes with is a QD detachment point here on the bottom, so hopefully I should be able to run a sling on this. Moving further along, inside this I have an 11-1 LiPo brick style battery. I tend to find that pretty alright, which we'll show off in a little bit here. Moving further along, I have my gearbox, and that's where a little bit more of the story begins. So for those that don't know, the p-90's gearbox basically slides out the back after you remove a couple of screws. It's very easy to get in and out, and then you work on the gearbox proper. Mine does not come with a quick change spring, as much as I wish it did, because it would have made getting this in and out and reassembled really easy. Historically, I've also always struggled with the anti-reversal latch. So what I ended up doing was I used a magnet as well as a paper clip, push to a certain position to actually try and get this into the right spot, and I did. And I got rather good at it. I actually messed with a lot of the guts of the inside of this, and I ended up finding that going with the stock internals was the best thing to do. And now it's shooting at 400 FPS, which is what I wanted to shoot at on that M120 spring. Moving a little bit further along, we get into the hop-up unit. We tried some experiments here. I tried a tight bore inner barrel that was a little bit shorter. I tried a maple leaf bucking. And again, here I ended up finding that going with your stock buckings and your stock barrel ended up being the best course of action. Moving on from even there, a little bit about the magazines on this gun. So p-90 magazines are basically a little bit different. They're kind of awkward, to be honest. They are a little bit thick, as you can see here. They're a little bit thicker than, say, a stick SMG mag, like a lot of magazines. So in order to find something that'll actually hold these, you kind of got to get a dedicated p-90 magazine carrier. The nozzle for the BBs actually meets up with the hop-up right here. So the hop-up is actually inverted and is upside down. I kind of like that design, but I have heard of a lot of people getting some issues with these mags, getting them to feed properly. I only have issues when I was messing with my bucking and my barrel. Past that, it's been pretty rock solid for me. Moving on a little bit further past there, you can see the Pancake Customs 3D printed upper receiver, which I do like. But what that also does is it does make reloads on this a little bit more of a challenge. I really gotta kind of line this up quite well. I have to then take it, press it down, and back it. It's not the hardest thing to do ever, but it does take some getting used to if you're used to just kind of slamming it in there and just slapping it down and being good to go. Underneath here, I also have some grip tape, which I basically made myself. I was finding that it was getting a little slick at times, especially with gloves, to really hold on to this really good in kind of awkward or various weird shooting positions you might find yourself in. So I figured a little bit of grip tape can kind of help there. Part of the reason I chose this chop block upper receiver was that the height over bore issues that I was facing with the standard upper receiver was a little bit of an annoyance on the p-90 for me. It was coming up over the top of the cover, I'd shoot, and all of a sudden I'd get a spray of basically old boards, rotting wood, stuff like that was in my way. And so in order to solve that, I decided to go with this guy. Now what this does is as I come up over the top, the sight is raised a lot less high over the actual barrel itself. So I'm a lot more likely to be able to bring this up and over and actually shoot and not having it collide with the stuff that I have in front of me. Fix the top here. I got my trusty hollow sun optic. I have my scope cam for you guys. It actually is at about 90 degrees, so it might be a little bit thin in videos. Hopefully you guys don't mind that. And on the other side here, I have my Crimson Trace flashlight. It's a very bright, good flashlight. Should hopefully help me see things in the dark when I take this to a night game coming up here pretty soon. Let's go into the trigger pull here, so just so I can show you guys kind of what it feels like to shoot this. So as a heads up, there are no BBs in this. There's a battery in here, so you will hear it function. So let's move into the trigger pull. So resting it there, going to be pulling. I feel a little bit of a hollow sponginess to it. Kind of feel it plastic on plastic a little bit, I would say. It's not very good. Now, I think it's about to go. Feeling that wall. Nope, no, actually that wasn't a wall. I thought it was a wall, but I think that was just plastic gripping. Maybe I reached the wall now? There it goes. There it goes. Okay. So, and then to reset, I think I actually have to fully, yeah, because, oh, nope, there it goes. So I can kind of bring it back halfway. And there it goes again. Okay, yeah, so that's where the trigger reset is. In fact, it's pretty bad. You can go in, you can get a different trigger unit, but those two trigger units cost about $100. They are micro switch, they'll help a little bit, but I don't think there's ever gonna really be a way to get rid of that plastic on plasticky kind of feel that the P-90 has, just because it's got that trigger bar in it. So, in conclusion, what I wanted to do with my P-90 was I wanted to find the midpoint between aesthetics and usability. And thankfully, I think I kind of found it with this setup. Now, the trade-off for that is a little bit more of an awkward reload. And also, it's got a little bit of a sci-fi flair to it. It's hard to see here, but I've painted the letters P04 in reference to a sci-fi character that I am working on a comic book in. Also got 4 dots, which is another reference to that character. So this is my sci-fi cybergunized P-90, talking all about it. Now remember, we still got that October 15th game day on. Bring your spooky gear, get half off, play game day of Airsoft with me, have fun. I'm gonna be reffing the whole entire day. So if you guys wanna hang out, that's a perfect way to find me. And with all that, enjoy science fiction, have a great day, have a spooky Halloween, and that's all, folks.